Years ago, when you looked at yourself in the mirror in the morning, you recognized that man full of fire, with energy in his eyes and a body ready to face the day. Today, however, that reflection might feel different. Your morning coffee is still there, with its strong aroma, familiar warmth, that first sip that wakes you up. But even though it gives you energy, it no longer brings back that spark that made you feel invincible, right? That vitality that used to flow naturally now seems to hide behind fatigue, worries, and the weight of the years on your shoulders. And you are not alone. I see it every day in my practice. Good, strong, disciplined men who have worked their entire lives, but who feel that little by little they are losing their inner strength. Today, I want to speak directly to you, the man who doesn't give up, but who silently wonders what happened to that inner fire. Because I understand. This is not just about energy or desire. It is about identity, about feeling that you are still in control of your body, your passion, your vital power. And that is why today I am going to reveal something that can change the way you start every morning. It is not a medication. It is not an empty promise. It is the result of 20 years of observing how the male body can renew itself when given the right stimulus, something as simple as a teaspoon added to your coffee. Last month, one of my patients, Michael, 54 years old, told me with resignation, "My coffee doesn't wake me up like it used to. It gives me energy, yes, but only for a little while. What I have lost is something deeper, that feeling of being a complete man." And 2 weeks after following my recommendation, his wife called me laughing and surprised. "What have you done to my husband?" He has that lively look, a firm voice. He looks 10 years younger. But now the problem is that I can't keep up with him. So listen carefully, because in the next few minutes you will discover a simple, natural, and scientifically proven secret that can help you rediscover your masculine strength. You will learn how to transform your morning coffee, that same daily ritual that never fails, into a true elixir of vitality. A gesture as small as adding a teaspoon can make the difference between feeling exhausted or feeling alive again, confident, and connected with your essence as a man. Before continuing, I would love to know something to connect with our community. Which city or country are you watching from? Write it in the comments. I love getting to know people who really care about their health, and it helps me create content that is more useful and relevant for you and your region. Let's get to the point. Millions of men start their day the same way, with a hot cup of coffee in hand, looking out the window while the world wakes up. It is an almost sacred ritual. That first sip feels like a burst of life, a spark that ignites the internal engine. But 2 hours later, the energy fades. What was once momentum turns into fatigue, the mind clouds over, the body asks for another cup, and the cycle continues. Coffee, that lifelong ally, has quietly become a fleeting promise, a temporary boost that leaves you emptier than before. But the truth is that the problem is not the coffee itself, but how your body uses it. As we age, the way we metabolize caffeine changes. The same coffee that at 30 pushed you to conquer the day can, at 60, work against you, increasing internal stress and leaving a deeper sense of fatigue. It is as if your body, instead of receiving fuel, gets an electric shock that lasts a moment and then drains the battery. Imagine your body as a classic car, powerful, elegant, but needing a different kind of fuel to keep running strong. You cannot keep putting in the same fuel as before and expect the same performance. That is why what I am going to show you today is not simply a recipe or a trick, but an intelligent way to restore coffee's original power, transforming it into a real source of energy, mental clarity, and balance. There is a simple, inexpensive, and natural ingredient that can change everything. This is not a miracle, but pure science applied to daily life. By adding just a teaspoon of this ingredient, your body stops reacting with stress spikes and begins producing clean, constant, and stable energy. Instead of that anxious boost that ends in a crash, you will feel focused calm, deep vitality, an energy that carries you through the entire morning. And most importantly, this small change doesn't just wake up your body, it also restores the confidence and clarity you thought you had lost. Because when your body responds again, when you regain control of your energy, something bigger awakens too, the feeling of being in charge of yourself once more. After 50, the male body begins to speak a different language. It no longer responds the same way to rest, exercise, or caffeine. Every morning, even before your first sip of coffee, something silent but decisive happens. Your hormones start working. Cortisol, the stress hormone, naturally rises to help you wake up, but if you slept poorly, went to bed worried, or have lived years under accumulated stress, that cortisol level no longer drops as it should. It stays high, like a constant background noise. And here is what almost no one tells you. When cortisol is high, testosterone shuts down. It is as if two switches are connected to the same electrical line. When one rises, the other falls. That is why, even if you are still the same strong and determined man you have always been, you may feel something inside fading little by little, less desire, less energy, less motivation. It is not weakness, it is biology. Now imagine what happens when you add a strong coffee on top of that imbalance. Caffeine acts like a whip on an already tired horse. It makes it run faster for a few minutes, but then leaves it breathless. Coffee, taken alone and on an empty stomach, raises cortisol and adrenaline even more. It gives you that boost you mistake for vitality, but in reality, it is a biochemical stress explosion. Your heart beats faster, your mind races, blood sugar spikes, and then drops sharply. The result is that cycle you know well: energy in the morning, a slump mid-morning, irritability, sudden hunger, and the need for another cup or something sweet to keep going. Unknowingly, you repeat this cycle every day, wearing down the system that should sustain your vitality and desire. That is why this is not about giving up coffee, but learning to master it, to turn it into a tool in your favor. What the male body needs after 50 is not more stimulation, but regulation, a way to soften cortisol's impact, balance glucose, protect testosterone, and feed the cells with real, not artificial, energy. In short, you need to change the way you start the day so your body works with you, not against you. The secret is not in speeding up more, but in fine-tuning the engine. After 50, the male body behaves like a precise machine that requires careful adjustments, not sudden pushes. Every component, hormones, energy, digestion, mood, is part of an interconnected system. When one of them falls out of balance, the whole system suffers. That is why true power lies in modulation, in helping the body find balance and function more intelligently. To achieve this, you need a simple additive that works on 4 essential fronts. First, reducing cortisol. Cortisol is not your enemy. In fact, it is vital for waking up, taking action, and responding to challenges. But constant excess steals your strength, calm, and desire. What you need is an ingredient that softens the impact of caffeine, turning that sudden adrenaline spike into calmer, controlled energy. Imagine replacing a flare-up with a steady, constant fire. That is the difference between a stressed body and a body in control. Second, sustainable energy. This is not about having spikes, but about consistency. Energy that does not rise and fall sharply, but flows steadily. This is achieved by balancing blood sugar and giving the body a clean fuel source without relying on sugar or fast carbohydrates. When this happens, the mind stays clear and the body stops asking for another dose in the middle of the day. It is like moving from a roller coaster to a straight, calm highway. Third, hormonal support. The male body after 50 still produces testosterone, but it needs the right environment for this hormone to work in your favor. If stress is high, testosterone does not disappear. It simply cannot express itself. You need ingredients that help restore that balance, reduce internal pressure, and allow your biology to return to its natural rhythm. When this happens, the feeling of strength, desire, and confidence returns almost effortlessly. Fourth, gut health. Few men think about this, but the gut is the foundation of everything. It is where energy is produced, nutrients are absorbed, and hormones are regulated. An inflamed or damaged gut not only affects digestion, but also mood, libido, and mental clarity. An additive that nourishes and repairs the gut literally transforms how you feel from the inside out. When these 4 pillars work together, your coffee stops being just a stimulant and becomes a tool for internal rebuilding. Instead of a fleeting boost, you get firm, clean, and stable energy that lasts for hours. And that difference shows in how you walk, how you speak, and how you look at yourself in the mirror with pride. The first solution is surprisingly simple but powerful: a teaspoon of pure fat in the form of coconut oil or MCT oil. Many men, upon hearing the word fat, take a step back. But here is the misunderstanding. This is not the fat that accumulates, but the fat that fuels. High-quality coconut oil is a concentrated source of medium-chain triglycerides, known as MCTs. These fatty acids behave completely differently from the long-chain fats found in common foods. While long-chain fats must go through a long digestive process, MCTs go straight to the liver, where they are quickly converted into ketones, a clean, stable energy source efficiently used by the body and brain. It is like switching from regular gasoline to aviation fuel. Performance changes completely. When you drink coffee alone, your body relies almost entirely on glucose. This causes a rapid spike in blood sugar followed by an equally rapid drop, which explains the mid-morning slump. But by combining caffeine with MCTs, the body receives a stable energy reserve that lasts for hours. Ketones keep the brain alert, reduce hunger, and provide a sense of calm focus without shakes or anxiety. Many men tell me that with this simple change, they feel their minds clear, their bodies lighter, and the need for a second or third cup disappears. One of them, James, 58, told me, "I not only have energy all morning, but I also feel more focused, like my head is working without noise." That is exactly the feeling produced by a stable energy source, calm and power at the same time. Additionally, coconut oil has another benefit. It reduces the impact of coffee on cortisol. By slowing the absorption of caffeine, the body no longer reacts with an adrenaline rush, but with a gentle, controlled activation. It is the metabolic equivalent of moving from a drum beat to a sustained note. And that is not all. This trick helps control abdominal fat and improves insulin sensitivity, two common challenges for men over 50. By keeping blood sugar levels stable, the body stops storing fat and begins using it as fuel. In just a few weeks, you will notice that your pants feel looser and your mind works better. To prepare it, simply add a teaspoon of coconut or MCT oil to your coffee and blend it for a few seconds. The result is a creamy beverage, similar to a frothy latte, with a smooth and surprisingly satisfying taste. This morning ritual not only boosts your metabolism, but also your mental focus. It is like starting the day in expert pilot mode, without highs and lows, with clarity that lasts until lunch. The second tool is an ancient secret from the Andes, Andean maca. This small tuber has survived for centuries in extreme temperatures, icy winds, and poor soil, and that same resilience is exactly what it provides to the male body. It is not just a root. It is a natural adaptogen, a substance that helps the body adapt to physical and emotional stress, restoring internal balance without forcing anything. While many supplements try to push the body to produce more testosterone, maca does something smarter. It stimulates the natural regulation of the hormonal axis, helping the body regain its rhythm. It does not act like a spark that burns out, but like embers that gradually rekindle the fire, restoring vitality from within. Men who incorporate it into their routine notice something very clear. Energy stops being nervous and becomes solid, deep, almost silent. It is not euphoria, it is calm power. Often, in the first few weeks, there is an increase in focus, better sleep quality, and, of course, a recovery of sexual desire. Michael, 62, told me that after a month of taking maca each morning with his coffee, he felt alive again in many ways. Before, I would wake up tired, with no energy or motivation. Now I have energy from early on, and even my wife says I seem like a different man, he said, laughing. The interesting part is that it wasn't magic, but biological balance. His body simply returned to doing what it already knew how to do, but had forgotten. Maca also improves blood circulation, supports the transport of oxygen and nutrients, and has a direct effect on fertility and erectile function. Not because it is an instant aphrodisiac, but because it optimizes the hormonal environment, reduces oxidative stress, and increases nitric oxide production, which helps blood vessels dilate. In other words, it does not force a response, it restores it. Additionally, it contains essential minerals such as zinc, magnesium, and iron, all crucial for maintaining healthy testosterone levels and cellular energy. Unlike many artificial supplements, maca does not create dependency or disrupt the body's natural rhythms. It is like reminding the body how to function efficiently again. A teaspoon a day, mixed with coffee enriched with coconut oil, creates a perfect synergy. The MCT fat provides clean energy, and the maca directs that energy toward masculine vitality, mental clarity, and hormonal balance. Many men describe this combination as a return to their most alert version. It's not just about restoring sexual desire, but about restoring the desire to live, to walk with strength, to feel excitement for projects, to look at your partner and feel that vital connection that seemed lost. Because in the end, sexual health does not start in the body, but in the mind and the energy that drives it. The third solution focuses on what many men forget: the internal structure of the body, the foundation of all lasting energy and vitality. We are talking about collagen peptides, an essential protein that supports joints, tendons, ligaments, bones, and, very importantly, the intestinal lining. Over the years, the body stops producing collagen efficiently. This affects not only the skin and appearance, but also mobility, digestion, and the body's ability to generate energy and hormones. Taking a teaspoon of flavorless collagen in your morning coffee is like giving your body structural reinforcement from the inside. The essential amino acids it contains, glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline, act as building blocks that repair and strengthen weakened tissues. This means less joint creaking, less pain interfering with physical activity, and faster recovery after exercise. It is as if your body remembers how to move with ease and strength, like when you were younger, without extra effort. But the benefits go beyond joints. Collagen also protects and regenerates the gut, which is the foundation for energy production, hormones, and nutrient absorption. A healthy gut means your body can use food more efficiently, generate energy without waste, and maintain optimal hormonal balance. It is like switching from a rusty engine to one perfectly lubricated. Every cell gets what it needs, and vitality flows naturally again. Taking collagen also helps control appetite and blood sugar levels, especially if you skip breakfast. Its pure protein content stabilizes glucose and reduces mid-morning cravings. This not only makes it easier to maintain a healthy weight, but also prevents those energy crashes that ruin focus and mood. Many men who add collagen to their coffee reported deep and sustained sense of well-being. For example, David, 61, says, "I didn't notice immediate changes, but after 2 weeks I realized my joints didn't hurt when I got up, my digestion improved, and my energy lasted all morning." It's incredible how such a simple ingredient can change so much. Additionally, for those who train or perform intense physical activity, combining collagen with MCT is a perfect strategy. While collagen rebuilds and strengthens, MCT provides clean energy. It is the ideal combination for a strong, flexible, and resilient body, ready for the day and for everyday life. In short, collagen is not just a supplement, it is an investment in longevity, resilience, and masculine vitality. It works quietly but consistently, strengthening the body from the foundation to the most visible levels of well-being. By using it regularly, the body stops fighting natural wear and begins to regain strength, mobility, and energy progressively and sustainably. The real power is not just in taking all 3 ingredients every morning, but in learning to listen to yourself and giving your body exactly what it needs. After 50, every man faces different days. Some require mental clarity and focus, others physical strength, and others a spark of hormonal vitality that seemed lost. That is why the smartest strategy is not to overdo it, but to cycle the ingredients according to your specific needs. Imagine your body as a precision clock. Each piece needs specific attention for everything to function properly. If you try to force all mechanisms at once, you end up overloading the system. But if you apply the right ingredient at the right time, each component activates and strengthens naturally. For a busy workday or mental focus, use the first option, coconut oil or MCT, your clean fuel. This ingredient is perfect for fueling the brain, maintaining focus, and eliminating the typical mid-morning crash. Caffeine is smoothed out, and energy remains stable, without spikes or drops. It is your tool for solid daily performance, like putting premium gas in an engine that needs to perform at its best. On weekends, social life, or low libido, turn to the second option, Andean maca. This is your hormonal shield, ideal for reactivating sexual desire, motivation, and enthusiasm. It is not an instant effect. Maca works subtly, preparing your system and creating a favorable environment for testosterone and internal energy to flourish. For best results, take it 2 or 3 days before you want to feel the full effect. For longevity, joint care, and digestive health, choose the third option, collagen, your silent builder. While its effects are not immediately visible, over time it strengthens joints, tendons, bones, and the gut, ensuring that energy and hormones are produced efficiently. It is like reinforcing the foundation of an old house. No one notices immediately, but without that solid base, everything else deteriorates. This deliberate approach not only improves your body, but also reinforces your confidence and discipline. Every teaspoon becomes a conscious act of self-care, a gesture that says, I am taking control of my energy, my vitality, and my health, even before the chaos of the day begins. It is a small ritual that transforms your morning coffee into a true elixir of power and well-being, creating habits that, week by week, change your biology and your sense of masculinity. The true power of this ritual is not measured immediately. It is built day by day, teaspoon by teaspoon. I invite you to practice it consistently for at least 3 weeks. It is not a magical one-day change, but a gradual, silent transformation that starts within your body and reflects in every aspect of your life. Imagine your mornings. When you wake up, your coffee is no longer just a simple stimulant. It becomes a moment of recovery and empowerment. You feel energy flowing steadily, your mind working clearly, and your body responding with strength and coordination. The highs and lows disappear, along with anxiety, sudden hunger, and constant fatigue. Every sip becomes a reminder that you are taking control, that your body can respond optimally to any challenge. And the effects are not limited to physical energy. Many men notice changes in mood, confidence, and motivation. Michael, 60, says, I don't just feel physically stronger, my mind is clearer, more positive. Even in conversations with my wife, I notice that I am becoming the same man I used to be. That deep sense of vitality, of truly being present and active, is what makes the difference between merely surviving your age and living fully every day. When your partner notices that change, when they perceive that your energy is consistent, your focus is sharp, and your inner fire has returned, that small daily gesture stops being just a habit. It becomes a declaration of power, control, and self-esteem. Every teaspoon is a conscious act of self-care, feeding your physical, hormonal, and mental strength, reinforcing the confidence that has always been part of your masculine identity. After 3 weeks, you will notice your body stops relying on the ups and downs of coffee and begins to function with its own efficient rhythm, where cortisol no longer dominates, testosterone finds its balance, and energy becomes reliable and lasting. It's not just about feeling younger. It's about feeling yourself again, at your full potential, ready for any challenge, any meeting, any day of the week. This is the secret, a simple, natural, and consistent ritual that transforms your morning coffee into an elixir of masculine vitality. It is not an exaggeration. It is science applied to daily life. And the best part, it starts with just 1 conscious teaspoon each morning, a small gesture that generates big, visible results, both inside and out. Now that you know this simple secret, everything depends on your daily decision. Every teaspoon of coconut oil, maca, or collagen is a conscious step toward the energy, vitality, and confidence you thought were lost. It is not a temporary trick or a magical supplement. It is a habit change based on science, tailored to your body and your real needs. Imagine opening your eyes in the morning and feeling your body respond with strength, your mind with clarity, and your inner desire with renewed enthusiasm. Imagine ending the day with enough energy to enjoy family, your partner, your projects, and feeling fulfilled without falling into fatigue or routine. This scenario is not a dream. It is the result of your daily commitment to your well-being. And here is the most powerful part. Every man who incorporates this ritual discovers that he regains something that seemed lost. Confidence in himself, assurance in movement, the ability to perform mentally and physically, and that inner spark that makes life exciting and full of possibilities again. It only takes consistency and conscious choice. I invite you to try this simple ritual for 3 consecutive weeks. Watch how your energy, focus, mood, and masculine vitality return to shine. Share your results, your experience, and your feelings. Every day is an opportunity to take control of your health and your life, and every teaspoon is a reminder that you can still feel strong, young, and complete. Don't let more time pass with low energy and the usual ups and downs. Turn your morning coffee into your most powerful ally, a true elixir of masculinity and vitality. Do it for yourself, for your well-being, and for that deep sense of mastery over your body and your day. Your transformation begins with a teaspoon, a few seconds of mindfulness each morning, and the commitment not to settle for less than you deserve. Today is the day to feel complete, strong, and confident again. Make every sip count.